using trigonometry to find a side. Consider the triangle below. We want to find x. So, this angle here is 38 degrees. That's the one we know. This side then is the opposite. Of course, the longest side is the hypotenuse. Our mnemonic is so, car, toa. If we look at what we're trying to find, the opposite and hypotenuse are involved, so we're going to use the sine ratio. This says that the sine of our named angle is equal to the length of the opposite divided by the length of the hypotenuse. Now we know the angle, it's 38 degrees. The opposite is what we're trying to find. The hypotenuse is 20. Now, just like solving something like x divided by 2 equals 3, we know we multiply both sides by 2, and so x is 3 times 2. Here, we multiply both sides by 20, and we get 20 times the sine of 38 degrees. And do write it that way round. Then all we need to do is calculate. Now I don't have the scientific calculator to hand. So what I'm going to do is use my class pad, but the idea is exactly the same. So I'm going to do 20 multiplied by sine 38, and that gives me this as the answer. So I'm going to give it as 12.31. The units here would be centimetres, and that's given to 2 decimal places. So now we want to find x in this triangle. Well, note, compared to the angle, we know that this one is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse. Write down our mnemonic. Always work from this. We have adjacent and hypotenuse, so it must be the cosine. And the definition is that the cosine of our known angle is equal to the length of the adjacent over the length of the hypotenuse. Now here we know the angle. The adjacent we're trying to find, the hypotenuse is 20, and rearranging that gives us 20 multiplied by the cosine of 38 degrees, and we just need to calculate that. So we're going to do 20, so we have 20 multiplied by the cosine of 38 degrees, and that's 15.76. So 15.76, the units once again were centimetres, and that's given correct to 2 decimal places. Now if we consider this triangle, this side is the opposite, this is the adjacent. Start with the mnemonic, so car, toa. This time we have opposite and adjacent, so it must be the tan. The tangent of our known angle is the length of the opposite over the length of the adjacent. So tan of 38 degrees is going to be x over 20. Rearrange. It's going to be 20 multiplied by tan 38 degrees. And so just bring in the calculator. And we have 20 multiplied by tan 38. And that's 15.63. So 15.63 centimetres to 2 decimal places. Now this time we're finding the length of the hypotenuse. That's a little bit more complicated. We have the adjacent here. But once again, start from the definition. Start from the mnemonic. Adjacent hypotenuse, that means we're using cosine. Cosine of our known angle is the length of the adjacent over the length of the hypotenuse. So cosine of 38 degrees is the adjacent this time we know, and the hypotenuse we don't. Now to rearrange this, first of all multiply both sides by x. So we'd have x times cos 38, and if we multiply this side by x we just get left with 20. Then divide both sides by cos 38. So we get 20 over cos 38. Now if you look at that, what you'll notice is that the x and the cos 38 have just switched places. So once you know that, when you're in this situation, you can just do that. So we need to do 20 divided by cos 38. So we're going to do 20, we're going to divide that by cos 38. That's 25.38. So x is equal to 25.38 centimetres to 2 decimal places. Consider the triangle below. Now we're not finding the hypotenuse here, so in this situation we can do what we did before. We can say this is the angle, so this is the opposite, this is the adjacent, and then go to the mnemonic. Opposite and adjacent means tan. Tan of our known angle is the length of the opposite over the length of the adjacent. So the tan of 38 degrees is equal to 20 over x. And as we observed before, we can swap the position of the tan 38 and the x, and we have 20 over tan 38. So we could calculate that. So 20, for some reason I missed the 2, 20 and tan 38, and that's 25.60. So 25.60 centimetres to 2 decimal places, and there's our answer. Now what you could note with this one though, when we're not finding the hypotenuse and we're going to use the tangent, is if this angle is 38, then this one up here is 52, and we could have used the 52 and had this one here as the opposite and this one here as the adjacent. It's really up to you. If you're comfortable doing this, that's the easiest way to do it.